Good morning. It is December 5th already, 2018. I'm here with Jennifer Zartman Romano from the Whitley County Chamber of Commerce. I'm Deb Lowrance, and this is for the Whitley County Oral History Project. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
So, tell us about the Chamber, how it came about, what it does.
Okay. So the Chamber is the advocate, the resource, and the champion for businesses and nonprofit organizations in Whitley County. And through that, we work with businesses and organizations to help them thrive and have the best business environment that they can in Whitley County. A lot of times we get asked how we do that, and we do that in different ways for different organizations depending on what their individual needs are. Part of what we do also is promote Whitley County to the people of Whitley County and then also outside of Whitley County.
So that means going to conferences and...
Not so much.
No?
It's really the roll up your sleeves, get the word out about Whitley County outside of Whitley County. We have a visitor's guide that we put together every year that features information about Whitley County businesses, activities you can do in Whitley County, and maps. Maps are always popular.
Maps are very popular. So how did this come about?
So
how long has it been here?
So the Chamber actually this year celebrates our 100th year.
Wow.
And so the Chamber was founded in 1919. Where I say this year, we're in our Chamber calendar year, but 1919 was when the Chamber was founded. The Chamber as it exists today is the Whitley County Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Center, but it originally formed as the Columbia City Commercial Club in 1919.
Okay, I've read about that. I didn't realize that's what that was.
Yeah, so that was like the original beginning of our organization. And it's been through a lot of names over the years, but has generally had the same purpose, which is to do good things for Whitley County businesses.
Okay, so what are some of the things? I know you're active in revitalization of downtown. Is First Fridays a Chamber thing? Or
First Fridays is not part of the Chamber, but it's something that we definitely support. We get a lot of phone calls at the Chamber just every day in general. And so part of what we do to help First Friday be successful is direct some of those phone calls to them. So
okay.
People who are wanting to be vendors or people who have questions or whatever, we try to help them as much as we can.
So what's some of the big things you've done with the Chamber?
So I guess I could give you over the history of the Chamber, some of the things that the Chamber's been involved in. I was looking through some of our history to share with you, and historically the Chamber has been involved in a lot of interesting things that still have a lasting impact on our community today. In the 1920s, an important project of the Chamber was improving the roads in Columbia Township, which I would say today we all have excellent roads in Columbia City and in the surrounding area, so we can thank the Chamber for that. The Chamber was involved in the lighting of the courthouse dome.
Oh.
That was a joint project with some other community organizations at the time, but very important. And today when you're pretty far outside of Columbia City, you can still see the dome.
See it, yeah.
And see it all times of day or night. So that was an important project. The Chamber in the 1950s was involved in the creation of Chain Lake State Park. That's something that's kind of an interesting thing that people don't realize. It was also really important to the early members of the Chamber to properly acknowledge the veterans from World War I, which 1919 was not long after that. So I was reading through the stuff that they were somewhat involved in the monuments that are on the courthouse lawn to the World War I veterans. So,
that's really cool.
That's some of the different things that we've been involved in over the years. Another interesting thing about the Chamber is just how transient it has been over the years.
Oh, yeah?
We're in a current location at 128 West Van Buren Street, right on the courthouse square, and the Chamber has, in its 100 years, mostly been in the vicinity of the courthouse and right on the square, definitely in the downtown for the majority of that time, but it has been at a lot of different locations.
Wow.
So some of the places that the Chamber's been, the first location of the Chamber would have been on the east side of the courthouse lawn. In the buildings adjacent to the west, kind of where the Elks Lodge is today, above there were some meeting rooms, and so the chamber would hold meetings there in the first early part of its history. Eventually there were some other offices on Main Street where the chamber office was. At one point it was up in the what is today part of the police department in City Hall. It was up there for a while. We have some pictures in our lobby of when it was there. It was also in the Clugston for a while.
Wow.
In the 1990s, they purchased a house on Line Street, and the chamber was there until about probably 2012. And then for 5 years located up close to US 30 in the Horizon real estate office building there. And then in July of last year we moved here to where we are, right back on the courthouse square. And to be honest, I don't think the chamber should ever be very far from the courthouse.
Probably not. No.
We're perfectly located downtown, and especially now embracing our visitors center aspect of what we do, it's good to be where people can easily find us.
Very cool. So what are some big things coming up? Can you tell us?
Well, we're going to look forward to ways to celebrate our 100th year, which will be looking back at our history and then probably looking forward at some of the things that we want to do in the future. You know, every day brings a new exciting challenge for us.
Well, a little surprise at the end of this video here. The chamber and the city are very involved in Santa's house.
Yes.
And we're going to take a little field trip across the street to Santa's house and talk about that and talk about the Christmas parade. Just a quick shot of the exterior of Santa's house, and then we'll walk across the street and see what it's all about. Okay, we're in the Santa house. I'm going to take a quick pan around and show you what Santa gets to see while he's in here waiting for all the little kids to come and talk to him. There's nights that they're wrapped clear around the block. One of those nights being the night of the Christmas parade. So, can you tell us a little bit about the Christmas parade and the Santa house? How long has Santa house been here?
Sure, so I guess we'll start with the history of the Santa house. The Santa house has been on the Whitley County Courthouse Square, we think, since probably about the 1940s, early 1950s. We've heard a lot of stories over the years from people who remember coming here with their families, so we know it's been around for quite a while. And the houses that exist today is new. It was redone in, I think it was probably about 2012. But it's on the original foundation, I guess you would say, of the original Santa's house. So a little bit of history stays with it, but the whole house itself was rebuilt.
Very neat. So what about this Christmas parade?
So the Christmas parade was founded in 2011. That was our first year. The idea for the parade came together probably 3 or 4 years before that, with some friends having dinner, and we were trying to think about what we could do to make the arrival of Santa in Columbia City a bigger thing than it already was.
He used to come in on a fire truck.
He'd come in on a fire truck regularly, and that was fun and exciting, but we kind of thought, like, wouldn't it be great if we did something more and something bigger with that, because it is an exciting time for kids and families, and an opportunity to make a new tradition. So from there, we kind of came up with the idea, and in 2011 decided to give it a shot. So we got a committee together that included Deb Lowrance, myself, my husband Tony Romano, Ron Gardy, and Joe Robertson. We got together and decided to put together this Christmas parade.
Cool. So this year was pretty big?
This year, I would say, was definitely our biggest year yet. It was shoulder to shoulder, pretty much the whole downtown area, from Chauncey Street to just about Walnut Street, with people lined up to watch the parade. That time of year in late November, we always have it the day after Thanksgiving. You never know what you're going to get weather-wise. Over the past 7 years that we've been doing this, we've gotten a variety of weather conditions and decided to stick with it kind of no matter what the weather situation was. So a few years we've had rain, which was really unpleasant. This year, though, was probably our best weather year that we've had.
It was beautiful.
It was warm, seasonably warm. And no precipitation of any kind, and so lots of people were able to come out and enjoy the parade. It was good that the weather was good because it was also our biggest parade that we've had. Generally, we try to keep the parade kind of small because with the weather situation, we know that parents don't want to keep little kids outside very long. So we've tried to keep it around 15 or so floats. This year we had 20, so that was one of our biggest years.
And there are other things to do while you're waiting, correct?
Right. We try to get the participation of local businesses and organizations to open up, maybe offer hot chocolate, maybe some kind of coloring or ornament making or just something like that inside of the business. And so there was a lot of that going on this year. Also, running around screen printing at the corner of Line and Van Buren has, for the past couple years now, done a live reindeer on parade night, so that's kind of added to things. We had some food vendors downtown this year, which was great. Really anything that kind of adds to the excitement atmosphere for the event is really helpful.
And the Festival of Trees is right across the street.
Right, and we try to coordinate Santa's house hours with that and with the live nativity that happens in the early part of December downtown. So try to coordinate what we're doing with the other things that are going on so that people can make it part of an overall tradition to come downtown and to do some different things that kids will remember forever.
Sure. And then after the parade, Santa officially starts Christmas.
Right. He lights the tree downtown, which is always a really cool thing, especially if you're able to get up and close enough to hear what's happening. He gives magic dust to all the participating kids who are right up there in the front, and they throw it and the tree lights come on and everybody cheers and the high school band plays, and it's just a really awesome
Christmas in a small town.
Yeah. And I think we can relate, being on the committee, that this year, for whatever reason, it just didn't feel like Christmas until parade time. Even a half an hour beforehand, it just didn't quite feel like Christmas yet. And then parade time comes and you could just really feel Christmas spirit coming into downtown Columbia City.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for chatting with us today. We certainly appreciate it, and we hope the tradition continues a long time.
As long as I have anything to say about it, it will.